it's Joyce Dodge, the MTO Missus. This is part 11 of our Germany trip in 26 here. And so on this one, we went to Eisenach. And Eisenach is most well known for Martin Luther. And so he preached there before he posted his theses and the issues that went on in the Reformation. And then he also came back after he had a death sentence for all that happened with the Reformation movement. So he hid up in Wartburg Castle. So of course we had to go up into Wartburg Castle. Okay, and so we really went there to see the things about Martin Luther, but we took a tour because it's the only way we could get into the castle. And so Anthony really enjoyed the woman who was doing the tour because she says there's a lot that happened in this castle besides Martin Luther. And so she talked about St. Elizabeth who lived there, and then she talked about the Minnesangers, and they had basically a rap battle talking about knighthood, and the main two people there had different attitudes of what a knight really was. So Anthony would always teach this to his students, so he was so excited about it. And like I say, Martin Luther really got put to the side here because it was all about this battle that he just loved so much. And Vogelweide, it was all about Vogelweide. He had to sit on a rock and do a little poem from Vogelweide, which got varied interest from the people around. So anyway, please enjoy this video.
We are in Eisenach. This is a town Luther preached in when he was younger, and then we're here, but also later, I should say later in his life, but in the middle of his life, when he was under a death sentence from the Holy Roman Emperor for his heretical teachings, there's a castle just outside of Eisenach where he was hidden. This was actually part of Saxony at the time, and the Duke of Saxony hid him here. He said he was I think the story was that they told everybody he was a monk that had leprosy, and everybody left him alone. But he did the translation of the Bible here. The New Testament. All right, we have reached the lower, and we're going to walk up and not take the shuttle. Looks like most people are going to take the stairs. Now the students started going that way and then changed their minds and decided to go this way. Okay, we are hiking up. I don't know, again, I don't think video ever shows how steep it is.
Nope.
It's a plus 7%.
Yeah, we declined on the 11.
13.
13. So we're old. We'll take the slower way.
There's a shorter walk, but it's a 13% grade, or this walk, which is 7 to 8% grade.
Yes,
All right, we are at the Wartburg, and I don't know if that's the tower.
He's like not even out of breath. Oh Jesus, we have to keep going. My legs hurt, guys.
But I haven't gotten to the wall. That did not take as long as I expected. That was fairly, it was steep, but it was easy. Yeah. Okay, so there's the lower level. It's not quite as further down as I thought. I mean, you could sometimes say the site is always the same. You got a major outlook view there. Maybe hit it on the way. More of the lower castle level, but now we're going in. It's a very narrow, angular castle. Even narrower than the one in Tübingen. All right, we got a short time. We're not allowed to film inside the tour. Joyce can take pictures, but no video. So we are inside here. Here's the tower. We'll go up. But yeah, we were just out there, and we come through here for tickets and such. Oh, that one's gonna gust and my hat's gonna go. I probably don't need it. So we got some cannons up here and looking out over the hills. Ran into some American kids from North Carolina, took their picture for them. So here is a 3D model rendering. So this is oriented exactly where we are. This building is right there, which is kind of hard to get there. But this is the South Tower, Südturm. So you see that? You see that right there? This is the Gadam. The Kommandantsgarten, which is now the cafe's outdoor restaurant. And this is when some of these buildings were rebuilt. It gives you that. So that tower, this tower, we're standing right under, right here. Ta-da! And then that gatehouse, right there. It's all good. Lion on guard up there. Pardon? Did you? Okay, I didn't notice him until now. And that's it. So until we get out of the castle, this is the last video I'm shooting since we can't shoot on the tour. All right, everybody. I had to make a video about this. We just got done with a tour of the Wartburg Castle. And I came here because of the connection to Luther, where he wrote the German translation of the New Testament.
Yeah.
But that's not what excited me.
Nope.
Any of my German 4 students, my kids who watch this video, I'm going to stop here and sit here. In level 4, I always taught German literary history as well. And there was a type of German poet in the medieval period, the 11th and 12th century, before and after, 10th to 14th century. They were called Minnesangers, troubadours, if you want. Yep. They were professional singers. And my students of German 4, when we talked about the Middle Ages in Germany, I would teach about a couple of guys, Walter von der Vogelweide and Wolfram von Eschenbach. And they literally had the world's first rap battle. What I didn't know, even though I taught this, the textbook never said that it occurred here at Wartburg Castle. I just stood in the room where Walter von der Vogelweide and Wolfram von Eschenbach and several other Minnesangers had their battle of poetry. Most epically portrayed in the Wagner opera Tannhäuser. And I learned something new today, which is that King Ludwig II came here to Wartburg because they were doing a special performance of Tannhäuser here in the room where the original Battle of Singers, the Singer Battle, occurred. And it was in this castle that inspired him to build an actual medieval castle back home where all of Wagner's epic Germanic stories, including Tannhäuser, could be performed. And that became Neuschwanstein. So I stood in a room where 900 years ago, the great German Minnesanger, the greatest Minnesanger of the Middle Ages, Walter von der Vogelweide, actually stood, and I've been beaming for the last hour. I can't wait to get out here and video, because you're not allowed to video in there. We got pictures, but holy crap, I was in the room where Walter von der Vogelweide and Wolfram von Eschenbach and Friedrich von der Heidel and so forth had the famous battle, but Vogelweide was amazing. And there's so much more I could talk about Vogelweide, because he was a badass at his time, and I could go forever, but I am so stoked I was just in the room where Vogelweide performed. Epic. So we're leaving the castle, but we came up a slightly different path to get a slightly different view of the castle. So to go get the big viewpoint up here, so I'm going to challenge my fear of heights and see how long I can stay up here without quaking.
Was zeigt sich nicht eine schöne Unterkunft, auf der wir sitzen. So vernünftiges Hotelzimmer, nichts Dolles. Und dann sitzt du und dann die Zeit so max. Ja, und dann hängen wir wieder lang unterwegs.
Epic. All right, Joyce and I are actually heading to a Märklin model train shop. Don't know how big or small it will be. Pictures indicate it's decent size. But how old those pictures are, I didn't look up. Well, while we're on the way, we're going to go through one of the old gates to the town. And then we'll head from the American shop back up to the Altstadt. All right, this is a great shot. And a statue of Luther. And we're heading that way. Now we have to cross the street here and go, and then we'll hang right on the other side of that big building. Okay. Say what? Yeah, this is Lutherstrasse. But which one do you think is? Do you think this is the Luther house? That says Werkstatt, Luther's workshop. But I think that sign in front of this building says Luther house. So this is Luther's house. And that's called Luther's apple tree. So Johann Ernst Bach, not Johann Sebastian Bach. All right, we are working our way into the street, but the Luther house is right behind us again. So this is sort of like the main entrance. Obviously, the rest of the street has not survived, but this is Luther's house he lived in after he came out of hiding. We're coming up to a big square. Get a nice shot of this building from this angle as well as over there. Then we'll have to cross the street. But yeah, we got a big square there. This is the Georgenkirche where Bach played. Well, the senior Bach played, or is it the younger Bach? And then the Tringer Museum. So this is marked. So this is the marked Platz. And the church, which we'll go outside. Just want to get a shot of that building. So we're continuing into the market square. And the market, there's only a couple of things of the market left. Everybody else is picking up and going. The Tringer Museum and the Touristinformation. St. George's Church there. And that's the town hall right there. That's a good shot. Now I want to go over that way and catch the sort of the other side of the church, but the apotheke and the restaurant there, or bakery it looks like. Großherzog Grand Duke Karl August von Sachsen Weimar Eisenach. It's from here. Okay. They say the Altstadt. So we're walking down this little street here, which they call a the Altstadt. I suppose there's some semblance of Altstadt here, but this is a great shot. Older sections, and of course, we just came that way and went that way. If you look way down there, that's that green building. And a statue of Luther. And we're heading that way. Now we have to cross the street here and go, and then we'll hang right on the other side of that big building. Okay. All right. We've made it to Rainer Schmidt's Modellbahn, and let's just hope he's open. Tiny little subway, and all of a sudden, or substreet, and I want to go across, so 20 cars show up. I didn't even have the video on. Didn't film me? Yes, I'm sure I didn't even have it on. Say what? Yeah, this is Lutherstrasse. Which one do you think is? Do you think this is the Luther house? That says Werkstatt, Luther's workshop. But I think that sign in front of this building says Luther house. So this is Luther's house, and that's called Luther's apple tree. So Johann Ernst Bach, not Johann Sebastian Bach. I think it's father. Okay. All right, we are working our way into the street, but the Luther house is right behind us again. So this is sort of like the main entrance. Obviously, the rest of the street has not survived, but this is Luther's house he lived in after he came out of hiding. Up to a big square. Get a nice shot of this building from this angle as well as over there. Then we'll have to cross the street, but yeah, we got a big square there. This is the Georgenkirche where Bach played. Well, the senior Bach played, or is it the younger Bach? And then the Tringer Museum. So this is marked. So this is the marked Platz. and the church, which will go around side. Just want to get a shot of that building. So we're continuing into the market square. And the market, there's only a couple of things of the market left. Everybody else is picking up and going. The Tranger Museum and the Tourist Information. And West St. George's Church there. And that's the town hall right there. That's a good shot. Now I want to go over that way and catch the sort of the other side of the church, but get St. George's Fountain with him over a dragon. The Apotheke and the little restaurant there, or bakery it looks like. Großherzog Grand Duke Karl August von Sachsen-Weimar Eisenach. It's from here. So we're walking down this little street here, which they call a the Altstadt. I suppose there's some semblance of Altstadt here, but I've seen older sections, and of course we just came that way and went that way. If you look way down there, that's that green building. So this is the Eisenach Altstadt coming in here. But so we are going to end our little visit to Eisenach with this last video. Well, how did you enjoy our trip today?
Oh, I thought it was nice. Climbed another castle.
And there is a very nice looking Bahnhof. We didn't take pictures of it right away because we had to hurry straight to a bus. We arrived and had 5 minutes to catch the bus up to the Wartburg. So I will film this and put it on the front of the video, even though it's the end of our journey. But I like to start with the train station. Very cool station.